Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a really fun one because we are going to be reviewing the Colourpop A Novel Romance collection. I feel like it always takes forever for my Colourpop packages to come in, but this one came in super quickly. I don't even know if these have launched yet. So this collection actually launches today. Apparently it's called the Love Struck collection. This says A Novel Romance. I don't know what the collection is actually called. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's called Love Struck 5-pan collection. I don't know why this says A Novel Romance, but whatever. So it is the new Colourpop 5-pan palettes. I got all 5 of them. Super exciting. Colourpop also sent over 2 brushes and a pair of falsies. These are in the shade Chick, so I'm going to use all of this new stuff. But obviously the focus is going to be on the palettes because that's the exciting part. So I got this in PR yesterday. They launched today, which is so exciting. I feel like all of my Colourpop collections, like by the time I get them, it's not relevant anymore. So I'm hoping to get this up today. I'm filming it and editing it all in one day. By the time I got this yesterday on January 6th, it was like 4 p.m. and it gets dark at 4:30, so filming just would have been a disaster. So yeah, I totally resisted and didn't even look at these. I'm so excited. I've seen them online. They're super beautiful. I will show you what they all look like. First of all, packaging is beautiful. It's very romantic, as it says, A Novel Romance. I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's just pick one and open it. Okay. I'll just pick the one in my hand. It's the Amore palette. In this one, I will describe it to you as I open it. So the Amore palette is described as metallic rose, pearls, mattes, glitters, and metallics. So there's a little bit of everything in this one. That's what this looks like. I am getting super strong Natasha Denona vibes. I'll actually get out my Natasha Denona mini palette. Please hold. Natasha Denona, where are you, girl? Okay, so like half an hour later, I finally found my Natasha Denona mini palette. This is the only mini palette I have. It's the mini Lila palette. So these are them in comparison. The Colourpop one is slightly bigger, but not by much. I'm trying to find a way to hold these so you can actually see the size comparison. I know the reflection's annoying. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about that. Oh, that's a bit better. So yeah, there's the size comparison. Approximately the same size. Colourpop one is slightly bigger. I also wanted to compare it to an e.l.f. mini palette. I know there's only 4 shades in the e.l.f. bite-size one, but I just wanted to show it for comparison purposes because they're both kind of like affordable brands. So as you can see, the e.l.f. one is significantly smaller than the Colourpop one, and yeah, that's just them for comparison purposes. So that's the Amore palette. It's got pearls, mattes, glitters, and metallics. Next up, we have the Cherish palette. These are kind of hard to open. They're not really, it's just my nails are super not functional. They're way too long. Oh, this is pretty. Okay, so this is the Cherish palette, which is described as cranberry, metallics, mattes, and glitters. There's glitter in here? Oh, I guess this shade here is considered a glitter. Doesn't really look like a glitter to me personally. It looks like a chunky metallic. So yeah, that was the Cherish cranberry toned palette. Next up we have the Ballad palette. This one, I think the packaging is my favorite, like just the tones. So this is the Ballad palette. It's like the cool tone smoky one, and it is described as gunmetal, mattes, metallics, and pearls. Probably not the one I'm going to use today though. Then we have Lyric. Oh, actually, I lied. I think I like this tone the best. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to decide, honestly. Okay, so this is the, what did I just say it was? Oh, the Lyric palette, which is bronze, metallics, mattes, and pearls. Really? Metallics, mattes, and pearls? Because this is a glitter shade for sure. I'm confused. That center color there, Unsung, that is definitely a pressed glitter. But it says it's eye safe. Their glitters usually aren't. That's glitter. Like that is a pressed glitter. Let me see if it'll focus. It just seems like Colourpop has gone out of their way to let us know what finish is in each, and like that's definitely a glitter, right? I'm not crazy. Okay, so Lyric is the bronze one, and finally we have Crush. So this is Crush, and this is copper, metallics, mattes, and pearls. So there's no glitter in here. Cool, so we have all 5 palettes here. I just want to do a little bit of math. I know math sucks, but I feel like just so you guys can make like an informed decision of if you want these palettes, I feel like, you know, it's important. And I'm taking the pain away from you by doing it. I'm just going to let you know like some cost breakdown is essentially what I'm saying by math. So these palettes are $10. All of these prices will be in US dollars. So these are $10 and you get 4.15 grams of product product. That's $2.20 per gram of product. So let's compare it to Natasha Denona. These are $25 and you get 4 grams of product. So that's $6.25 per gram of product for Natasha Denona's formula. I'm reading all this off my phone because I can't remember numbers to save my life. And then for the e.l.f. bite-size one, it's $4 for 3.5 grams of product, which is $1.14 per gram. Obviously the e.l.f. is the best deal, it usually is. So now that we've compared it, obviously this is kind of mid-range in between e.l.f. and Natasha Denona. So you get 5 shades for $10, $2 per shade. However, I want to compare it within the Colourpop brand. So for the Colourpop 9-pan palettes, they range between $12 and $14. So for example, the Going Coconuts palette, that's a $12 palette and you get 8.1 grams of product. So when you do the math, it's $1.48 per gram. The more expensive ones that are $14 are 9 grams of product and that's $1.55 per gram. So if you're looking for value, these are not it, even within Colourpop's own line. If there's a similar color story, which I think Colourpop makes most of these color stories in their 9-pan palettes. If there is a color story you're digging, maybe check out to see if there's a 9-pan palette that speaks to you if you're looking for value, just because the 9-pans are a better value if you break it down in cost per gram instead of these. I just wanted to let you guys know that. You can do with that information what you will, but I think it's, you know, important to be an informed consumer. So we will go through each palette individually. I will do arm swatches and then we'll do a demo. Since there are 5 palettes, I'll probably only get to use the shades from like 1 or 2 on my actual eyes. So if you want to see like dedicated videos to looks with each palette, let me know, because I feel like that could be fun, like a little series. Or I could maybe make it one video and be like 5 palettes, 5 looks, or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 looks, 1 palette. That's the trend, but like we can change it. We march to the beat of our own drum on this channel. I can do 5 looks, 5 palettes if I want to, okay? So yeah, we'll go through each palette individually on my arm and I will let you know like some details about it, because there are some shades that are not technically eye safe in a couple of these palettes, and I know that bothers a lot of people, specifically people that follow me on Instagram. I know it bothers a lot of you guys, so I want to make sure that you guys are well informed before you decide to purchase, if you decide to purchase, whatever. So yeah, that's the plan. I don't know if I'll be able to give shade descriptions because these aren't on the website yet. I'm not used to getting my packages this early. I can't describe them by myself. I'm not a color expert. Oh no. Okay, so Temptalia does have shade descriptions. She's probably way better at it than me, so I'm gonna use her shade descriptions just to save you like the awful shade descriptions that I'd be able to provide. So yeah, thank goodness for Temptalia. She always comes through. And now, without further ado, let's get into the arm swatches. Okay, so we will be starting with the Amore palette. This is the rose toned palette, so you can get a good look of it here. So the first shade we have is Passion, which is a neutral toned rosy dark beige. It's a matte finish. Next up we have the shade Romeo, which is a warm toned dark pink with pink and gold glitter pinpoints. And then we have the shade Affair, which is a medium dark pink and purple glitter. Then we have the shade Woo, which is a warm toned plum with a metallic finish. And the last one is the shade Darling, which is a cool toned dark berry with a matte finish. This one swatched very dry. So this is the Amore palette, and out of this palette, the shade Affair, which is the pressed glitter, and the shade Darling are not eye safe. Or as Colourpop likes to say, they are not intended for use in the immediate eye area. Next up we have Ballad, which is described as the gunmetal palette. So the first shade we have here is Novel, which is a light peach champagne metallic. Then we have the shade Epic, which is a cool toned medium beige matte, kind of like a light taupe. Then we have the shade Drama, which is a warm toned medium taupe and it has a metallic finish. Then we have the shade Faint, which is a cool toned dark taupe gray with silver glitter pinpoints. And finally we have the shade Prose, which is a black with silver glitter pinpoints. So this is the Ballad palette, and out of all the shades, all of them are suitable for use around the immediate eye area, meaning they are all eye safe. Next up we have Cherish, which is the cranberry toned palette. So the first shade we have here is Destiny, which is a warm toned light peach metallic. Then we have the shade Adore, which is a warm toned light brown matte. Then we have the shade Faith, which is a warm toned medium copper metallic. Then we have the shade Precious, which is a warm medium red with gold glitter pinpoints. And finally we have the shade Forever, which is a warm toned medium deep brown brown, and it is a matte finish. So this is the Cherish palette, and out of the shades, this center shade here called Faith is not intended for use on the immediate eye area. And I got some red pigment on my sweater. It was not a good idea to wear white while swatching. I'm very upset. This is my first time wearing this sweater. Next up we have Crush, which is the copper toned palette. And as I was looking at the promotional images for these palettes, I noticed that these two shades are actually not in the right position. They should be switched. I think these shadows actually might come out of the palette, like it's just magnetic, so I might try and switch them around. But just so you guys know, this is actually the shade Arrow and this is actually the shade Struck. They're just kind of switched around. Okay, so I just tried, and as you can see, it popped out, and it popped out super easily. So just be careful, and these will pop out really nicely. I'm just gonna switch them around quickly before I swatch these. Okay, so now this is the Crush palette the way it's supposed to be. I just switched the two around and it was really easy. It took like a minute. So the first shade we have is Bow or Bow, I'm not sure which is a warm light peachy yellow matte. Next we have the shade Love, which is a warm light orange with a matte finish. Then we have the shade Arrow, which is a warm medium copper metallic. Then we have the shade Struck, which is a warm medium orange brown with silver and gold glitter pinpoints. And finally we have the shade Cherub. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but it is a warm medium brown with a matte finish. So this is the Crush palette, and out of these shades, the shade Arrow is not intended for use in the immediate eye area. And finally, we have Lyric, which is the bronzy toned palette. So first we have the shade Melody, which is a very light peachy gold. It has a metallic finish, but it's not super reflective, so I'd say it's more of like a frost finish. Next up, we have the shade Ode, which is a warm tone yellowy light brown with a matte finish. Then we have the shade Unsung, which is a medium antique gold glitter. Then we have the shade Cello, which is a medium toned warm brown metallic. And finally we have the shade Verse, which is a dark reddish brown matte shade. Now this palette states that all of these shades are safe for the immediate eye area. However, I would be wary of this center shade Unsung. It does appear to be a pressed glitter. I can't confirm that on the Colourpop website just because they're not up yet, but I would just be careful with this one applying it to the eye area, because if glitters get in your eye, that can be a little unsafe. So just be wary of that. Okay, so now that I've done these swatches, I'm gonna show you how to get this sultry eye look. I just want to point out that all of the mattes swatched absolutely beautifully, except for this one here called Darling. This one's kind of a flop. So since one of the 5 shades of the Amore palette is like kind of crap, I tried to use it on this eye and ended up covering it up, so I'll show you. But I feel like this palette, $10 for only 4 shades because this one sucks. I feel like that's a lot. I don't know, maybe pass on this one. Obviously I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying that this shade Darling here is trash, but the other mattes in every single palette, including this one, like this matte, beautiful, super creamy, super buttery, like really nice formula on them. So anyway, let's get into the demo. I'm going to start with the shade Passion in the Amore palette. I just want to show you like how soft these are. They do have quite a bit of powderiness and fallout in the pan. I just think that's an indicator of how soft they are. I don't think it's like a bad thing. So I'm just taking this on a fluffy brush and applying it into the crease. Like, look at that pigment. I think that these mattes are actually nicer than typical Colourpop mattes. So formula wise, I don't think you'd be disappointed with these palettes, except for Darling. Again, just want to make it clear how terrible that shade is. Holy crap. I don't know how they can be so consistent with everything else, and then that one is just like really bad. So I'm just taking this in the crease and then blending it upwards. And then I'm gonna dip into this shade here called Romeo. It's one of the sequin formulas. As you can see, hopefully the camera picks it up, but it has lots of glitter in it. But if you use it on a fluffy brush, the glitter doesn't show up. It just kind of performs like a matte. So again, as you can see, there's a lot of kick up in the pan when I dip my brush in. They're just really soft shadows. And I'm just taking this on the same brush and just applying it a little tighter into the crease. So now I'm going to show you that awful shade Darling. That's why I chose to use this palette specifically, because I really wanted to try that shade because it swatched so dry. So as you can see, when I pick it up, there's hardly any, actually no powder kick up just because it's pressed so hard. Kind of scratch around with this brush. It's really hard to get it to show up. It's just not very vibrant. but I really dug into there with my brush. It's really finicky to work with. It's not really patchy though, so that's good. I don't know, I think it's just a little too hard pressed for me. It's just not soft and buttery like the other matte shades. So I really caked it up on the brush, and I'll just show you. Doesn't really show up. So instead I went into the Lyric pressed powder palette and used the shade Verse. I'll show you the difference in matte formulas. This one applied really nicely. So I just picked this up super lightly. I just like to flick off the excess. I'm just tapping it ever so slightly, and it's just bam, pigment. Like it's really nice. That's how all of the other mattes feel in the pan. Just super buttery and really quite pigmented. And then I'm just gonna take this little blending brush with nothing on it and just kind of blend out that harsh edge. Then I'm just gonna cut my crease with a little bit of foundation. I think I have a whole video on cutting creases. I'll link it in the cards if you're interested. I'm pretty sure I made a video on that, but I have the memory of an actual goldfish, so if I don't, and I'm just lying to you, I'm sorry. Okay, so now that that is placed down, I'm taking the deepest shade in the Amore palette. This one is called Woo, and I'm just grabbing that on like a flat synthetic brush, and I'm just placing it where I put the concealer. And then I'm just taking it a little bit past where I placed the concealer just to blend it into the dark matte shade we used on the outer corner. Then I'm taking a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter adhesive. I love this stuff for pressed glitters. It smells like a hair salon though. If anyone has used this, have you noticed that? It smells very strongly of a hair salon. So then I'm just picking it up on a little synthetic brush again. And I'm just applying it where the matte and shimmer meet, and then taking it in a little bit. Then I'm just taking another flat brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Affair. This one is not eye safe, so this is obviously optional. I like to live on the wild side. And I'm just placing that where I placed the glitter adhesive. Cool, just like that. And then I'm gonna go in with my KVD Vegan Beauty tattoo liner, and then I'm just gonna draw a wing. Then I'm just taking a little makeup wipe by Fourth Rate Beauty. This is going to be an entire Colourpop tutorial apparently. I'm just going to clean up the fallout. I didn't set my face, so I can just reapply my foundation. And then I like to take it along the wing just to make it extra sharp. Okay, and then I'm just taking my Tarte Shape Tape, applying a little bit there. And I really like to take a flat brush and a little bit of the concealer and just really sharpen up my winged liner. Apparently this is how to get a sharp wing tutorial too. And I'm just blending this in with my beauty sponge. I got these on Amazon. I'll link them down below. You get like 5 of them for like $15 and they're really good. I like them. Then I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills translucent powder. I don't like this powder. However, it's the only powder I have, so we're just going with it. And I'm just using it to set my concealer. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going into the dark brown we used from the Lyric palette. This is called Verse. I'm just picking it up on a angled brush and I'm just lining my lash line with it. Then I'm going to blend it out with this shade here called Romeo. I'm taking this shade called Destiny from the Cherish palette and I'm just using that to highlight my inner corner. Then I'm just lining my waterline with the cream gel liner in the shade Best O. This one isn't as pigmented as I wanted it to be. This is the first time I'm using it. It's just not as dark as I wanted it, but it's fine. Next, I'm just applying a little bit of mascara, and that is it for the look. I'm going to apply some false lashes. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'm going to finish the rest of my face just because I cannot apply false lashes on camera to save my life because I have to get so close to the mirror. And then I can come back and give you my final thoughts and roundup of the 5 pans. Okay, so I have completed the look. I used the Colourpop lashes in the style Chick. Those are the ones they sent with this package. Honestly, Colourpop lashes are probably the most slept on Colourpop product. In my opinion, they are my favorite lashes, like ever. They're just so soft and fluffy and they're fantastic and they're affordable. So this eye is watering, so if this side looks a little screwed up, that's why. On my lips is Kylie Charm, that was a tongue twister, Kylie Charm liquid lipstick. So yeah, let's just get to my final review of this product. I actually kind of like them. Honestly, going into this, I did think that my review was going to be like, save your money and go for a 9-pan, they're better value. And while that is true, after feeling the matte formula in these, I would say that they are worth it. First of all, mini palettes, super on trend right now. I didn't think we could go any smaller with Colourpop because their 9-pans are pretty mini, but alas, here we are. I would honestly recommend all of them except for the Amore one, just because of that one shade, Darling. It was pretty awful to work with, honestly. If you really like this color story, I mean, it's 10 bucks. You may or may not find that justifiable, but I would pass on this one just personally. All of the other ones though, I think are very beautiful. They all swatched really nicely. And if you like the color story, I would definitely recommend the other 4. This one's kind of similar to the Wine Not palette. So if you like this color story and you want value, that might be something to look into. And I'm sure they have other ones that kind of match these ones. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Side note, I got the Wine Not collection in the mail yesterday as well. Let me know if you'd still be interested in that. I feel like it's a little bit late, so I might not review it, but I feel like a video playing with it might be kind of fun. I don't know, let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. So yeah, I think for $10, these are really pretty and the formula is really good. The packaging component is honestly pretty similar to Natasha Denona. Natasha Denona might be a little bit heavier, but I don't really think that's a big deal. So I guess the packaging on Natasha Denona is a little more luxe. However, it is $15 more and you also get less product. So it is up for you to decide. I would recommend these. The formula on them is really nice. But yeah, I think that if something is going to deter you, it might be the fact that not all of these shades are intended for use on the immediate eye area, meaning they're not technically eye safe. It's just because the product either has glitter in it or it stains. So it's not FDA approved. So they have to put that. They have to put a warning that it's not technically intended for the eye area. I don't mind staining. I'm just careful with glitters and I know the risk that I'm taking when I'm using them on the eye area. So that might be a deterring factor for you, but formula wise, I don't think you would be disappointed in these palettes. Also color wise, like you can't deny they're very beautiful. Also the concept, super romantic, super pretty. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing with these more. Let me know, will you be picking these up? I would definitely be curious. And which one is your favorite? I think my favorite color story wise is, I like the Lyric palette. I think that would be my pick if I were to choose just one. So let me know what your pick would be. And yeah, I think that's it for me today. I'm gonna go because as you can see, the sun is starting to come in and it's soon gonna get in my eyes. So I am going to head out. And by head out, I mean end this video. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. Oh, see, the sun's already in my face. Damn it. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. I just really appreciate you checking out my channel. It really helps me out just you watching. So thank you. It really helps me out just you watching. So thank you. Please leave any requests for videos in the comments down below and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.